matter for a interviewer, and it's matter for you to answer them. Okay. So first of all, why do we use Salesforce? Jagdish, so you are basic in Salesforce or you know something in Salesforce?
Yeah, I know configuration and the customization part. I know classic development.
You know,
I know
Lightning?
this part. No, I don't know. Like I need to learn. Like
Okay, no problem, Jagdish. Not an issue.
okay,
So let's say definitely they will start the question from the admin side first. So they will, first of all, they will try to ask the question from the security model. In admin, so we have few things which is very important, and definitely they will ask the question from security model and some from automation process. So security model is like profile, role, permission set, and all. So why do we use all these things? Why can't we use only one, right? So let's say we have multi layer of the security in Salesforce. Like we have like object level security, field level security, record level security, app level security, tab level security, record type level security. Hello, yeah. So we have multiple securities in Salesforce. So accordingly, like as we know, like we have multiple level of security. So all these things we can provide from profile, role, permission set, and all. So profile level, we can provide all kind of securities. Record also, object also, tab, app, record type. Every security we can provide from profile level. You know, like permission setting generally used for giving a grant access. Like we'll not go in the depth of the each topic. Like we'll on the top of the level we'll try to cover the topics. If you have any doubts, so you guys can ask the question. So second thing is, like if we are talking about record level security, so record level security means there is a data, it's a records, whatever records we'll have in the Salesforce, that is a records. Let me just log in the Salesforce organization. Okay, so this is a records. So record level security, there is a data visibility. If I want to share the data, let's say you are also a user in Salesforce, I'm also a user in Salesforce. In one org only, there are two users. If you are not able to see the record, whatever records I created, you are not able to see. Whatever record you created, I am not able to see. What might be the reason? Definitely OWD is private there. So we have organization by default. So that is private. Everyone is aware what is records and all, right? So let's say I have a candidate information in this one. So these are the records. Okay. So this is a OWD. So we have like four type of OWD which we can say. Let's say we have a public, private, public read only, public read write, and we have controlled by parent. Controlled by parent means whatever security we implemented on parent object, it will inherit it to child also. Okay. So these are the things which is very necessary to know what is private and all. So please go through all these things. Like what might be the reason for that OWD is private if you are not able to see my record. Okay, after that we have a sharing rules. Sharing rules is under the OWD sharing setting. Why do we use sharing rules? So these are the share object. It's a share object. Share object means whenever you will create any of the custom object or any like standard object is there, so share object will be created automatically. You no need to create manually. There is there is no setting where you need to enable this one. Automatically this will be enabled. What is the purpose of this? So generally it always, if your OWD is private and you want to share the records, you want to give to someone to edit the record or view the record or something else, so accordingly you will create a sharing rules. So now just try to understand. Let's say my OWD is private, there are two users, both are not able to see each other record because my OWD is private. It's a org level security. OWD is a org level security, not on user level. Like it's completely org. If I have 500 user, then it will be implemented on 500 user automatically. So let's say I have two user and my OWD is private. Okay, this is a reason because my OWD is private. That's why both are not able to see the record of each other. Now, what I want like I'm from South region. This user is from north region. Okay, So now, so this North candidate is adding one condition, whatever records he is creating, and that records is from North region. So this records all the North, whatever North person is creating a records. So he's creating some of the South records in his region. So whatever South record is there, so all the South record will be shared to with South person. And whatever records he is creating, whatever North record is creating, so this North record is shared by this North person, because North department is under this North person, South department is under the South person. Like if South is creating North record, then all the record will be shared to North. If North is creating a South record will be shared to South person. How it can be possible? Using sharing rules. What can we do? We can create a criteria by sharing rules. We can create two criteria by sharing rule on the object, on any object where you want to like make this sharing pairing. Okay, so on criteria based sharing rule, you usually can say like whenever like this criteria is like meeting, like whenever region is equal to North, so then it will be shared with the South person. Okay, there is a public group in Salesforce. There are two things, public group and public queue. Public group and public queue, this is also very important question. Public group and public queue, what is difference between that? In a public group there are like group of user where we can add. In a queue also there are group of user where we can add. What is the difference between them? So in a group we can share the record using sharing rules and all, but we cannot add any queue in a sharing rules. Where can we add a queue? On the record level. Whatever the owner of the records which we have, let's say I have this record. Accordingly, if I want to share if I want to wherever the owner, so let me go to another record. So there is a owner. On that owner, so we can change the record. I removed from the like page layout. Let me just add it. owner क्यों नहीं आ रहा यार इसमें? Created by and created by चलो whatever. So देखते हैं इसको बाद में. So it's not that a big deal. So now we were now Jagdish, so your main thing is like they will ask you to introduce yourself. Okay, first of all, this is very important question in an interview. They will definitely ask introduce yourself, right? So how will you introduce like if they will ask? So first of all, what you need to say, my name is Jagdish. I'm having total like let's say 5 years. I'm having total 5 years of experience in Salesforce. In Salesforce, I worked on Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, and Community Cloud. And as I started my career as an administrator, but now I'm a developer. When I started my career, so I worked around 2 years in an admin side, and after that, I got a chance to work in a development also. So in Salesforce admin, I worked on all the automation process, security model. If you are confident, then you will say all the automation process, security model, and managing the production, like creation of sandbox, refreshment of sandbox, and data migration work with data loader and workbench. And like in terms of development side, I'm good in Apex class, Apex triggers, Visual Force pages, test classes, asynchronous operations, using all the best practices, and taken care of all the governance limits while implementation. And I'm also good in Aura and LWC also. But my project was on the classic side, like most of the things we done in the classic side. So we were using a community portal. Everything was in the classic side. But yes, I also got a chance to work on Lightning also, but I'm not that much comfortable in Lightning. But yes, I can do the work. Like I can do the work, but everything is not on mine. But I need to little search out, and I can do the work. Multiple components I build myself. So in terms of integration side, yeah, I'm good in REST integration, having a good understanding of SOAP also, but more comfortable in REST API. And coming to tool knowledge, so yes, I'm currently we are deploying the things with using a chain set. And in my previous project we were using some other tools, whatever you know the tools, like let's say if I'll say I will say Bitbucket is a version controlling tool, and like chain set, Bitbucket, Workbench, manage package and manage package, and migration tool, VS Code, and GitHub. So all these tools are the deployment tools. So they also might ask you, so do you use CI/CD tools? What does it mean by CI/CD? So CI/CD means, so it's a full form is continuation, integration, and continuation deployment. So it means there is some tools which is named by CI/CD. Let's say Jenkins tool. We have Jenkins, AutoRapid. So these are the tools which is no out of Salesforce. But yes, this tool we no need to build this tool. This tool will be built by any other third party. You will say, yes, we were using a CI/CD tool for deployment purpose. So if you are using a version controlling tool as a Bitbucket, let's say I'm using Bitbucket. In the Bitbucket, so if I'm creating a pull request and merging the pull request and everything, after that what will happen after getting the my deployment will not be happened automatically. Okay, for that, if I want to make automation, then I need to use CI/CD tool. Whenever I will make some action on Bitbucket, then automatically deployment will be done. So you know Bitbucket?
No.
Okay, let me just explain what is Bitbucket. It is very important. If you will add this thing in your resume, that would be impact a lot. Okay, fine.
Okay.
So let me just create one scenario here. If you have any doubt, so please feel free to ask me, or not even you, anyone has any doubt, so please feel free to ask me. So let's say one requirement came in my company. One requirement came. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to build this one. Let's say we have creating a one Apex class. One Apex class is already built. These are the lines. These are the, let's say, 3 methods we already have in Apex class. These are old Apex class, and there are some enhancement part is came. What we need to do, so we need to add new method in this one. Let's say 3 method is already existing. We are adding fourth method. Okay, so we have made this one. So now it's time to track the things, like deploy the things. So you have two way. One way is, let's say you have this production, this is sandbox, and in a sandbox you have made one, in a one Apex class you made one more method. After that you directly deploy into production or some other sandbox. So what will happen, so and you also done one thing, like this method, whatever existing method, you also modified this method also. Okay, so you created new method and existing method also you modified, and you deploy it to production. Okay, so previously it was working fine, whatever the existing functionality, it was working fine, absolutely it was working fine, but they want some enhancement. This is not an issue, this is an enhancement, like some additional point we need to add, and we need to enhance this method also. There were previously it was 100 line of code in a one method, so now you made 200 line of inside the method. Okay, and like previous code is also overridden. Now you have deployed to production, and after deploying to production, like you realized that your code is not working fine. If you will go back to sandbox and you didn't take any backup, of the code, so what will happen, so your code is vanished now, you don't have backup now. How will you recover? Let's say you already closed our developer console and everything, you cannot do control Z, you also cannot do undo. You are getting or not what I'm trying to say, this strategy?
Yes, how to recover the code?
Yeah, so we are not able to recover the code because we have overridden the existing methods code, and we also added the new method or something else we are doing here. So we will not be make it a backup and all. So let's say today you resolve the again, like again you spend the time here. Okay, and after 2 years or after 10 days, after 5 days in a future, means any time, some of the senior is coming there and they are reviewing your code. they will say no, this code will definitely be break. Okay, so then they will say no, I written the code in previously, so it was good code, and I want that code, please give me that code. They will ask you, you don't have any code, that is also a problem. That is also escalation part, right? So like everyone is in a trouble. So how can we resolve this problem? So currently whatever things is going and everything, you are aware this process only, you are not aware another Bitbucket process. So in a Bitbucket, so what is the process? So let's say some requirement is coming in a company. So what will happen? So there are few steps. Let's say this is a 3 methods existing, and there are new method. I already created this method also, and in this method, so there previously it was 100 line of code. Now I made changes and I made to 200 of line of codes, 100 to 200. Okay, so in 200 line of codes, so what is happening? So now I directly no need to deploy to production or any sandbox. Like I will not tackle with that. So what will I do? I will commit this code to Bitbucket. So what is Bitbucket now? It's a version controlling tool. So we can control every version. In every version, we will track the things. Every version means, let's say, this is your one branch. There are multiple things in a Bitbucket or GitHub. Both GitHub and Bitbucket both are same. GitLab is also same. Okay. So now, okay. So this is repository. First of all, this is repository. Now try to understand. I will explain multiple steps here. So please try to understand. If you have any question to ask me. What does it mean by repository? Repository means like it's a folder. It's a folder. So we have, in a C drive, D drive, in a laptop also we have folders, right? So in that folder, we have multiple things there. We have subfolder, we have multiple file name and all, right? So similarly, this is a repository. I'm giving, this is repository means, it means this is a project name. So let's say your company is working on 5 projects, different country project, different project they are handling. So then they will create 5 repository. If they have 5 project, repository is nothing, it's a project. Inside the repository, so repository can be 5 and 6 as per the project. If you have 5 project, then there will be 5 repository. Let's say your project name is South America. Your project name is South America. So definitely you will go to South America repository. You will not go to any other project repository because you are working in this project. You are not aware about functionality of another project. What will you do? You will go to repository. Under the repository, you will be able to see branch. Okay, there is a branch. What is branch? Branch is like inside the branch. So we have all the codes and everything is, this is a database. It's a kind of object in Salesforce. Branch is nothing, it's a kind of object in Salesforce. In this branch, so we store everything, like all the Apex, all the metadata. All the metadata means everything: Apex class, custom field, custom object, everything means whatever thing is used for deployment, you will store here in the branch. Okay, so now it is a master branch. We have a master branch. Now what we will do under the branch. So let's say some requirement is coming. So you made these changes. Okay, you modified the Apex class. So definitely this code will already be existing in this branch, because everything, whatever things you have in this org, everything, each and everything. So everything you will be able to see in this master branch, because you already committed there. Not you, someone else. So you are new in the process. So you no need to understand how code is came here and all. You just try to understand that code is already here. So what will happen now? So this is a master branch. This previous code is already there, but new code is not there. New code you developed, new code is not there. What will you do? You will cut new branch from the master branch. You will cut new branch from the master branch. So new branch is nothing. This is a custom branch. You can say master branch is like a kind of standard branch, and this is a custom branch. You will cut means you will take a clone of this branch. You will copy whatever code you have, things you have, everything in this master branch, everything will become to custom branch. Okay, it's a making a cloning. Okay, we are like a sandbox production. So after that, all the things are there. Now, with the help of source tree or with the help of VS Code, whatever things, VS Code and source tree both are supportive here. So you will take a you will take a checkout. Checkout means you will take a backup or this custom branch, not main branch, custom branch to your local system, local repository in C drive and D drive. Okay. Now, whatever Apex class you created here, you will just open that Apex class. Okay, in the local, in the notepad, and whatever code you written here, so you will commit here. You will just copy the code completely, you will paste here. Okay, you will just paste here. After paste, definitely, and then you will again commit the code here in this custom branch. Okay, you can commit the code in the custom branch. Now you can see whatever codes I had in the master branch and new code I came in the custom branch, definitely both are different now. Previously both are the same, now both are not the same. Even I added one space only, it doesn't matter, but yeah, it's a difference, right? Now what will I do? Both are different now. What I will do, I will create one pull request here. Yeah, so I will create one pull request here. Pull request means that pull request is nothing, it's a kind of medium where we can ask our senior to review the code, and after reviewing, then we will deploy the code. Now there is a one way, it's a pull request between that two branches. There is a pull request. So in this PR, we can say short PR. In this PR, so we will keep, whenever we will create a PR, then we will keep our senior as a reviewer. Please review the code. Whenever you will be review, please approve this pull request, and then please merge this pull request. Merging means they will send the data from this to this. If they will merge, then data will automatically be transferred to here. Here we are maintaining the quality of the code. How? Because our senior is also reviewing the code, right? Or let's say you committed the code. Now this code is also overridden. How will we overcome this one? Because here we can maintain the versioning. We can maintain what was the code yesterday, what was the code today, what was the code after like before 2 years, and everything, every code we can one line by line, one space also we can track here. Okay, after that, after creating a pull request, if they are merging, automatically deployment will be done to your org where you have developed in the automation process of CI/CD process. So this is little long, but it is quite important and easy also. Let me just show you with practical example. So this is a Bitbucket URL. Bitbucket. This is on cloud. As I explained, we have a repository. As I said, if we have a two type of project like South American common project. So we have two projects. So in two projects, I am working in South America. Under this repository, so we are came in this project. We are not in the we are in South America, not on common. So now I will go to branch. Under that we have a branches. So we have one master branch. So this is a master branch. It's a kind of standard branch. It's a main development branch. So we will not directly make any changes in this one. It's like a production only. So first always we go to sandbox, right? So similarly, so make a changes, we create a new branch from this branch. Let's say from master branch, I'm creating a new branch. I can give any name for this one. Let's say test branch I'm doing. Okay, I created a new branch in the Bitbucket. Okay, so one second. Yeah, so it is done. So now what will I do if I want to see the code? If I want to see the code, and let me just show you that this is my new branch. Let me just show you the master branch also. Let me show you the code and everything. How will you check? Go to view source. Okay, go to source. If you want to see anything like Sora component, Apex class or anything, let me go to Apex class for a time being. So let me just go, let's say I have this test class. I want to see the code of this class. So this is the code for this test class. Okay. So if I want, अब्दुस भाई वो कहाँ है सैयद?
सर ज्वाइन किया है ना?
क्या
Sayyid is joining from my laptop, bro.
ऑलरेडी ज्वाइन?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so these are the things, like these are the classes which are they used for the like these are the classes. Let's say this is a backup of the code. Okay, so let's say after that, this is my branch, this is my main branch, master branch, this is my master branch, and this is our custom branch, test branch, which we created now. Let me go to view source and let's see every code is moved from master to custom or not. Source is there, Aura is there, Apex class is there, everything you will get. Let's say I have some, this is a Moki class or something else. So I'll be able to see each and every code here, right? So this is Apex class and everything is there. So everything will be there. So now how can we maintain the versioning? So if I will create a pull request between two branches, there are no difference. Nothing is there. We didn't make any changes. So now we will not be able to see, we will not be able to create the pull request between that. Definitely both are different, then we can do it. So let's say if I want to create, it's a test branch, right? Test branch. Post test branch. So let me refresh the page. My test branch is going here. One second. But it deleted automatically. There is some automation because whatever things came from test, it is deleted. Okay, no worry. Let's create new branch. So this time will not create from the master branch. This time we'll create from the let's say CI/CD will do for the release or 6 point anything. Let's say 6.4 is my master branch, and this is my bug fix 1301 2022. Okay, this is also code. So, and one more thing, I need to do one work today. Let me do it today in this call also. Then my work will also be done and this code will also be done. Okay, so let me create new branch. So I need to create a branch from the release R 6.9. Bug fix, any name you can give, that it is not necessary. Operam GMT. For remembering, I'm just giving the today's date.
Yeah, GitHub also the similar version controlling
Yes,
tool. na?
yes, that is quite similar. 99% both are same.
Okay, why we use Bitbucket? When we use Bitbucket and when we use it?
Both are same here.
GitHub.
Some companies are using Bitbucket, some companies are using GitHub. Like there are some cost efficiency, otherwise both are same.
Okay, okay.
So let's say this is my source. What I need to do here, I need to deploy the Aura component. Okay, so my Aura component is left panel clone. This is my Aura component. So here I need to make some changes on this file, and let me just go to my developer sandbox also. So this is my sandbox, and I need to make some changes here. Let me just edit this file. Directly online I'm not using any third-party tool. I remember these are my changes, so that's why I'm just picking this one. Okay, so we are going there. I'm just putting here, and after that my changes is under this. So line number 168. Is a fetch offer list based. Fetch offer list based. This one, no? After the iteration. Okay, these changes has been. I will just commit the things. Now I will show you. So what is the difference between that? What are new things? See, this is showing green. Green means I added new things. Okay, green means I added new things. Now I will, whenever I will create a pull request, I will keep my senior as a reviewer. Then they will review the code and they will approve the pull request. They will say, yeah, this is a correct or this is a wrong, whatever. Okay, so whatever changes I made. So directly now everyone can see who made which changes. Okay, so even I need to make some more Apex class and something like this, like CSS. And I just given you one example because it is time consuming. I don't want to take your time because we need to cover other topic also. Okay, and if I want to show, like if I want to create a pull request between that, I will just create a pull request only for one changes only. So this one came here because recently changes in this one. It's updated a minute ago. So I want to make where I want to commit. This is my new branch and this is my old. I want to commit the changes to new old branch. At least R 6.9. So if I want to keep, let's say, I'm just keeping the Saurav Kumar as a reviewer, and I'm just creating a pull request. Okay, this pull request has been created and one notification is sent to Saurav Kumar now. And they also can see like someone made the changes. So they will say, okay, Amarjit made the changes and this is a pull request for Amarjit. So let me review and let me approve this. So now they directly will go to pull request and directly they will just go there in this pull request and they will say who made these changes, Amarjit. And accordingly they will see, oh, this is a thing, it's this a green means they added this thing, and they directly will go to approve button. This is approve button. They click on this and accordingly they will merge, and whenever they will merge, code will be transferred from this to this. Okay, and this after approving the merge button is there, then they will merge. Okay, I think hope everyone is clear in this, right? So now let's go to some other topic. So this is a sandbox. So how can we identify the sandbox in production? So sandbox is always start from trash.salesforce.com. Production is always start from login.salesforce.com. Sandbox is sandbox means this is a sandbox name and is written here. This is a sandbox. Okay. So other thing is like if they will ask you to explain your project and challenging part which you faced in your last project. So in this one, Okay, sorry. So here, what project you need to explain? So let's say, let's create a one scenario here. Suppose there is one e-commerce website. E-commerce website that is a, you can say any name. Let's say in my scenario, I always say barber. I'm explaining my project only. Okay, it's a real-time project. So it's a barber. It's a it's a website, e-commerce website, and there is one third party. It's a Sage 200. Its name is Sage 200. Okay, so in Sage 200 application, so what is happening? So it is very old CRM. It is also a CRM. Sage 200 is CRM. It's like a Salesforce only. So now Barber was maintaining all the information in Sage 200 application. They were maintaining all the info, like Salesforce is a database, right? In object level and all, we can show the reports. But here, like Salesforce is not in a picture now. So Sage 200 is in a picture now. So whatever, whenever customer was placing the order, everything was reflecting in Sage 200. Now customer, it is a 20-year-old application. Now customer is saying, I want to replace from Sage 200 to Salesforce. I want to convert. I want to directly make a connection between Sage 200 with Salesforce only. Okay. So now how can, one second, yeah. Today I need to leave 1 minute. Yeah. So in this scenario, okay. So here it's a like 200 application. In this 200 application, so we need to the CRM we need to replicate to Salesforce. Why we need to convert? If already working is there, they already spend the money, and after that they are saying, because there are lots of manual steps they were doing. Like first they were capturing the data in Excel sheet and they were manually hitting the data, or with the help of Excel they were just hitting the data in Salesforce side. Okay, so now what they need to do, they were doing these manual steps. Okay, nowadays no one is aware what is Sage 200. Developer is also not there in the market. If they want to enhance their own application, they also can, they are not able to do. If there are developers, they are very less developers and very costly developers in Sage 200, because developer is very less. Okay, what they want to do, if they are working on the CRM, why will they not go with the number one CRM? Number one CRM is a Salesforce. Okay, manual step is also not there. Lots of developer, their service is also very good in Salesforce. Okay, so what you done in this application? So say there was Sage 200 application and there was Oracle application was there. So finance related things was maintaining with Oracle system, and like rest of the things is maintained by Sage 200 application. Now you have removed the Sage 200. What you done here? So what you done here? So you made this is a Salesforce and this is a Oracle. Let's say between that Oracle. So data is coming to Salesforce, data is coming to Oracle from Barber side. Okay, so here what you are doing, so Oracle system to Salesforce, you made an integration. You made an integration with Oracle system and Salesforce system. Whenever data is coming, let's say some client is purchasing a product, and after that data is coming to Salesforce, and Salesforce is like just validating the things, and after that they are just sending the request to Oracle system, and Oracle system will generate the invoice will send to Salesforce back, and Salesforce was sending the information to, with the help of email or some workflow process builder or anything. Whenever a code was creating in the object level, then data was automatically sending to third party, like it's a client email. Okay, so this is a process. So you made this integration with REST integration. Okay, first of all, what you done here, you just created the clone of the, you made a clone of the Sage 200 to Salesforce. Sage 200, like in a Sage 200 also we have an object, we have opportunity object, account object, contact object, they also have, but they are using agents like for security model, for validation rule, for automation. So they are just calling agents only. They are saying we have a agents. If they have agents and we have security model and everything, so now we need to build in Salesforce also whatever is already built in Sage 200. Definitely whatever the functionality was going on, whatever the business requirement, they already captured. Same functionality we need to operate in the Salesforce. Same to same we need to make a replica. So individually we created a custom fields, custom object, some custom some sharing rules, sharing models, and object level, field level, everything like you created manually. Okay, so this is the first work which you will explain in a company which you done. Second thing is like you didn't get access of this org. Like what happened, whatever the challenges you faced in this project, you didn't get any access from this org. If you have a access, let's
Okay,
say,
line.
yeah, let's say if I'm asking you to build one thing and I'm giving you, this is a sandbox and please do these things, definitely you will ask me, oh, can you please, I didn't understand on the call, can you please give me the access of that one, I will see and accordingly I will do that. Definitely you will ask access. If you have access, then you will more comfortable and you can do the work. But in this scenario, they didn't provide me the access. What they were doing, they were coming on the call on daily basis and they were just sharing the screen and they were telling Amarjit, this is the scenario, please do this thing, do this thing, and do this thing. And they were explaining thousands of things in a one day because it was very complex system. And it was very difficult for me to capture all the things on the call and all, even in each and every question I need to ask them. Daily the call was going around 1 hour, and after 1 hour I was just starting my work, and I was just watching the video, recording the video, and after that I was just doing the things, because they didn't have any technical person in their team. That's why they didn't give anything, and they were security, because of security reason they didn't provide me the access. Okay, so it is a challenging part which I made from my assumptions, from my expertise, from all these things. Even when I was making an integration between Oracle and Salesforce, even they didn't provide any JSON format also. JSON is also required for whenever we make the integration, that we need a JSON format. Okay, they didn't provide any JSON format. I created a JSON from my end. As per the Excel sheet, I just it was my assumptions, like to make these are the parameters will come and all. So yeah, as per the Excel sheet, so we made the JSON and accordingly we made a REST integration call out and call in. It was 70% it was call in, and 20% it was call out, 30% it was call out. Call in means data is coming to Salesforce, call out means data is going from Salesforce. Okay, so this is a scenario which you made and where you face the challenges. Okay, so these all things you made manually, and because they didn't have developers and they didn't provide you the access for security model and all, so you made a replica of the schema first, data modeling and everything you designed. After that, you made an integration with Oracle system using REST integration. REST resource will be the class, consumer key, consumer secret, profile, security token, endpoint URL, and everything you provided to third party from Salesforce. And after that, you easily made an integration. Now currently work is also going on, but yeah, application is running phase now. Okay, so this is one challenge. Second challenge is when you joined a company, before you like there was around 2 years back, so there was a one developer. You don't know who is a developer. They developed one functionality and they deployed to production. That functionality was showing the list of records. There was around 8 columns. Like list of records means like it's a kind of table. Like we are showing all the records 1, 2, 3, 4 up to like 80,000 records. 80,000 record. It is in the UI. Okay, so to showing the 80,000 record is very difficult, because we'll get one error, 50001 exception, because we cannot retrieve the records up to 50,000 record per SOQL. This is a part of governor limit, right? So this is a governor limit. Then how can we display up to 80,000 record? It is very difficult, right? So the same things happened with me. So it broke in a production. So it was running previously, it was running fine. Whenever record was less than 50,000, suddenly in 2-3 days, record is increased to 80,000 immediately, instantly. So whenever it increased, definitely my production is broken. So nothing was happening there. Like client was unable to see even a one record there because of this error. Okay, now client told me, okay, Amarjit, resolve this issue. So how can I resolve? They want to see all the 80,000 records on the UI. You will say it was very challenging part for offshore, like because they were blaming to offshore. So I need to maintain the respect of the offshore team. What I done and what was my what was my like appreciation? I got appreciation from client and all. What was the resolution for this? I created some of the dynamic search form. Let's say there are 8 columns. I created some check like input box on the top of the column, and whenever client was entering the details, who are in the end condition. Whenever you were entering the records, let's say we are handling the employee details. Definitely, we directly will not see all the employee. We'll see some of the employee from north region, south region, might be from particular city or per name, for employee ID, right? Whenever we will enter the detail, definitely it will reduce the number of counts. Total is 80,000. Let's say total is 80,000. So 20,000 record is from north, 20 is from south, 20 is like the client is coming and they are finding out the candidates from the south region. Definitely it will not be 80,000, it will be reduced to 20,000, right? Because number of count is decreased now because of search criteria. Now we have resolved the 50,000 error. This is one thing which you done. Second thing is we have a limit class. In Salesforce, we have a limit class. So what it does, so generally in the limit class, so we directly can find out the things like till now how many transaction we done. Let's say in a Apex class there are 10 SOQL you are doing. 10 SOQL you are doing in a test in a main class, or any DML or any other action you are doing in a main class. So if you want to calculate it is nearby governor limit or not, it will break or not, yeah, you easily can capture the things. It is going to break or not in a future. How will you do it? Let me just show you. Limit class Salesforce. So these are the classes. These are the classes where you can find out the things. Let's say you want to find out a DML rows. How many DMLs till now you have done? Okay, whatever the CPQ limit time you have, like it is how many callouts you done. So each and everything you will be able to capture here, like whatever the query and everything. Okay, get queries, like all the return the number of SOQL queries has been issued. Means get queries. Let's take example of get queries. So let's say you have doing a 10 SOQL in a class. In 10 SOQL, you have written like 5 to 6 times like get queries, 5-6 times like randomly anywhere. So what it will return? It will return a number. It will return a number. It will say in line number 1 there is 1 SOQL, 2 SOQL, 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so where you will write, they will just calculate the size on the top of the class till now how many SOQL you have written. Or if you will write like how many total records you want to find out, like let's say get query rows. Rows means 50,000 records we can return, right? If you're writing this one and you will store the value of this in an integer, what will happen? So it will just return a value of that number of records. Let's say till now you have let me just explain you on Notepad, that would be more better. Let's say this is your Apex class. Okay, so this is 1 SOQL, this is 2 SOQL, this is 3rd, and this is 4th, and this is 5. So similarly what I'm writing here, let's say here I'm writing, one second, what was the things? Let's say it is a get queries rows. Let's say it is returning a list of, I'm writing teacher I equal to get query rows. Okay, so what it will return? It will return 0, because before this statement nothing is there. If I will write this thing here, definitely it will SQL, if SQL there, it will return one SQL, right? Because one SQL is happening there. And if it is not, if it is retrieving the data, let's say this SQL retrieving around 30,000 record, it will add here 30,000. And after this SQL, if I'm writing again, so how many SQL is there? It will count as 2 SQL. And let's say 30,000 is returning by this one and 20,000 is this one, then it will return 50,000. Okay, now till now it is not, error is not there. Let's say after this, let's say this is a scenario. Here I'm writing the same thing. It is returning like 10,000 this one, 20,000 this one, 30,000 this one, total it is 70,000. Definitely it will show the error message. Now we can say definitely it will be break, because till now we have written like it is retrieving the data 30,000 this SQL, 20 this one, 10 this one, and this one, total 70,000. It will break the SQL. Even if it is more than 50,000, that time also it will be break. Okay, so if I want to count how many SQL we have done till now, it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. It will return the 4 result for SQL. Okay, now how can we resolve? What is the benefit of this? It is only indicating the number. No, we also can do one thing. We can add one condition here. If I is let's say I is equal to 50,000, or let's say I is greater than equal to greater than equal to we can say greater than equal to 50,000 record, then we will show some custom error message. We'll show some any error message, whatever error you want to show on the UI, you will display this error message. Okay, so whenever your row will be there accordingly, so you can show some custom error message. Please enter the search criteria. You know, I told you the dynamic search form, and if you'll enter the search criteria, it will just get the details. One second. Okay, so like this. So if you will enter a search criteria, definitely it will reduce the number of count of the records. And now your code is broken here. So that, one second, it is breaking here, right? So if you will, it is not going to like below this line, it is breaking here only. The rest of the things is not executing. If you want to execute rest of the things, you will just enter the search criteria. Record will be reduced to less than 50,000 records, and it will go to again another statement. Okay, whenever in the last it will break, then definitely it will show some custom error message on the UI. Again, you can filter out the things. So this is also a challenging part for you to do the quick fix. It is for quick fix. Okay, because client was like client wants they were asking some kind of quick fix, like it should be resolved by today itself or in a very less period of time, but you resolve the things like this only. Jagdish, did you get it or you have end out?
No, I completely understand what you're trying to do.
That's cool, man. Yeah. So yeah, this is about this. If you have any doubt, bro, so you can ask me. Like anything in a Salesforce. Even I don't know,
So,
like whatever things
in
in your mind.
integration, what exactly they are preferring, like REST or SOAP?
Bro, there are two integration, REST and SOAP. So you can say where you are more comfortable. You can say I worked on the REST integration. REST is the best. Everyone is using REST only. SOAP is also in a market, but is very less as compared to REST.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you know REST integration?
Yeah. So integration, I need to learn.
Okay, you need to learn.
I'm
So
going
we
to
have a
learn.
Postman tool or Workbench. It's a kind of testing environment where we can test with the this one. You know Hindi?
Very little, thoda.
Only thoda thoda. Okay, no problem.
So
So
Workbench is a third-party tool, right?
sorry, Postman.
Workbench.
No, it's a Salesforce tool only. Workbench.
Okay. Okay.
It's a Salesforce tool only. Yeah, it's a definitely third party. Now Salesforce acquired the Workbench. Previously, it was third party.
Okay.
Okay, so now I will show one thing. I have my YouTube channel, so you will be able to see my all the videos there. So if you want to learn the integration in 5 minutes, so definitely you can go there. That is very simple video. As per my understanding, you should learn in the 5 to 10 minutes only. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this is my channel. So all are my videos. So let me just show you the Postman video. 1 second.
It is in Hindi.
Hindi, English both.
Okay.
So so it's a Postman. Yeah, it is in Hindi here. Sorry. This Postman video is in Hindi, so you can go there and you can just find out. I explained the things in it's a 15 minutes and all, but main things in 5 minutes only. But some more things I added here. Okay, so this is also a part of integration. Okay, this is also part of integration. This is also part of integration. These are the different methods in REST integration. So you can go there and you'll be able to see these things. These are basic things. I didn't explain on in a very complex way. I explained in very easy way only. So if you have any doubt and all, feel free to ask me in the future also in a WhatsApp and all. So but yes,
Sure.
this might help you a lot because in we don't have more time because we connected only for 1 hour only. But I tried to cover lots of things in this session, but whatever things I could do, I done.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. So this is the thing, bro. Okay.
Okay.
So everyone is clear or some confusion is there, whatever I explained today. बोलो भाई आप दोस्त
क्लियर है सर, बट उसका जो आपने वर्क बेंच बताया था वो
वर्क बेंच
आज
तो मैंने
करना है।
वर्क बेंच तो बताया ही नहीं मैंने, मतलब तूने समझ ही नहीं आया कुछ तेरे को यार, बेइज्जती करवा देता हर जगह पे। वर्क बेंच मैंने बताया ही नहीं नागेंद्र।
डिप्लॉयमेंट के लिए टूल जो बताए थे,
व्हाट आई एक्सप्लेन्ड टुडे नागेंद्र, वर्क बेंच।
Yes.
वर्क
No,
बेंच
no, no. No. GitHub, Bitbucket, and version controlling tools and uh, some SOQL queries. How to fetch 80,000
yes
and queries at a time. But I have a doubt, bro. Why don't we use firstly in that dynamic search in the initially after the 50,000?
that is very good point which you tried. Yeah, initially we can do that, but thing is that sometimes let's say we are doing the development, we don't get the things in our mind, like this scenario might be happen in the future. Like always candidate is always try to developer always try to follow the best practices, but some scenarios we also can skip because we are a human being, right? So anyone can skip the things, they can note things will not come in a mind. Even might be whatever scenario I explained, so might be client also was thinking in the past like record will not be increased more than 10,000 or 20,000, but suddenly it increases to 80,000, right? They were thinking record will not increase more than 10,000 in this object, So now business is repeatedly increased and it increased to 80,000. Any scenario can be happen. Definitely, this is a use case. You said a very good thing. Means initially we can do that, but thing is that some scenario we are also not aware what is going to happen. This is a scenario happen. Let's say
Sometimes we didn't expect the future, what
exactly,
will happen in future on that time.
exactly. Okay. So I think we are good. So shall we? If you have any questions, so please ask me. Otherwise, we'll wrap up this call. Jagdish, do you have anything?
No question. So what's your phone number? You
Uh,
ping the
yeah,
Telegram, right?
you know, group WhatsApp group. You are in a WhatsApp group, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can take from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, guys. Then thank you so much. Thanks for your time. So let's leave a class for today.